Hello. Hello, people. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me on this Thursday, July the 14th, 2022. My name is Will Johnson. The website is uniteamericafirst.com. Uniteamericafirst.com. Please go to the website, check it out, support me, check out the articles, check out the merch. Thank you so much. Check out the merch. Ultra MAGA Republican. All right. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a wonderful year. Yeah. So, I do, as usual, I do have some stuff I want to share with you, and I want to make sure I get it out here and get it to the forefront. But please, if you haven't already, if you would, please do me a huge favor. Hit the share button on this video, no matter how you're watching this, and even on the audio podcast. If you go to the audio podcast and type in "Let's Talk About It with Will Johnson," you have to do the Will Johnson. Let's Talk About It with Will Johnson on any podcast that you listen to. Please, I'm encouraging everyone to go check it out. You can, when you don't have time to sit there and watch what I'm showing you, you can at least tune in and listen in. And please share it with people, share it with everybody. All right, cool. Thank you so much again for being with me tonight. So let's get to the first thing here. First thing, I've always talked about. Let me play it out here. Let me just kind of give it the scenario here. So when I used to consider myself a Democrat, and I have a hard time even still saying that now. Because, just think about it. I have a hard time saying it because admitting I was a Democrat. I'm like, okay. So, but anyways, I transitioned from that to an independent. And this is when I moved to California. And then I'm in California and I'm like, I don't know, I have to pick something because in California, you have to pick either Democrat or Republican in order to participate. It's just the way it is in the primary. Not the general, but the primary. So then I selected Republican. And I've been registered Republican ever since, but I realized that I didn't really care for the Republicans because this is the point I want to bring up. Because a lot of Republicans, the reason why I don't really consider myself a Republican, I know I have Republican here, but I consider myself a conservative Republican. Does that make sense? A conservative, or better yet, I consider myself an ultra MAGA Republican. Even better. But I don't consider myself the traditional Republican. Why? Because they are spineless. In California, when I was living in California, there were the Republican Party, or at least somebody that was acting or representing the Republican Party, reached out to me and told me to stop doing what I was doing. They said that I was making them look bad. I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? You should be doing what I'm doing. I shouldn't be doing this. You should already be speaking up for the people in the state of California, but the Republicans there, at least the ones that's running the establishment. So, they excommunicated me in the state of California. They have. And this was, again, because according to them, I'm too radical. I'm too much of a freedom-loving American. I'm telling you, this is the reason why. What else would it be? Because I don't curse at people. I don't call for violence. But see, my biggest point about talking about that is because right now we need more Republicans than ever to get a backbone. Because when President Trump came along, a lot of Republicans started saying, oh, look at this. I can get a backbone. I can finally get a backbone. And the Democrats got upset with the Republicans getting backbone. And they even went as far as even saying that, well, President Trump has changed the Republican Party. He actually did. He did it in a good way. He changed the Republican Party because the Republicans started getting a backbone again. And see, the Democrats don't want the Republicans to have a backbone. That means that the Republicans will fight against this demonic stuff that they've been pushing onto us. If the Republicans had a backbone all along, we would still have prayers in school. If the Republicans had a backbone, they wouldn't remove the 10 Commandments from the courthouse. If the Republicans had a backbone. But we do have a few Republicans that do have a backbone, and I'm going to share one of them with you. I don't know if you've seen this one, but this is absolutely awesome. Matt Gaetz is on point. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and there's a few other, and Jim Jordan, there are a few other Republicans that will actually stand up and get a backbone and push against this demonic stuff that the left is pushing. Listen to this interaction Matt Gaetz is having, because Matt Gaetz is like, I'm fed up with it. Matt Gaetz has actually put his foot down, and these Democrats don't like it. They can't stand it when you ask legitimate questions. If you're having a hearing and you're talking to witnesses, you're talking to people in the committee or whatever it may be, you have your selected time to ask whatever questions that you want. The Democrats always jump in when you start asking questions that's going to prove a point. Check this out. Yes, 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 and yes. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The Democrats hate Matt Gaetz. They hate Marjorie Taylor Greene. They hate them with a passion because they're telling the truth. They hate Jim Jordan because they tell the truth. They ask these questions that I'm not sure where that's coming from. Sorry about that. They're so upset. They're so upset that someone's actually asking questions to get people to think, to get the wheels turning, and they can't stand it. That's why she's interrupting Matt Gaetz when he's asking the question. He asked a very good question. Well, what is the child? What is an unborn child? What is an unborn child? That's a very valid question. But you know what? They don't want to answer that because they want to act like that human tissue, the cells, the human cells coming together, creating a heartbeat is nothing, that is something that you can just discard. That's how they act, and that's how they think. Matt Gaetz and other Republicans need to do the exact same thing. Stop backing down to these Democrats. Stop doing it. Stop. They're not doing it. And I asked this question once before, and I'm going to ask it one more time. And because someone has the answer to this. What purpose on this planet do liberals serve? I mean, it's a valid question. Those on the left, what purpose do they serve? Is it just basically a checks and balance between good and evil? Is that what it is? Someone tell me, what purpose do they serve? It's almost like it's like this. What purpose does a cockroach serve? I'm just asking the question here. I don't know what the purpose of a cockroach is. You know, one day when we stand before God, we can ask God, well, why did you create cockroaches? Like the same reason I create liberals. I don't know. I just want to know. Because they're not doing anything to help the American people. They have all their special interests. They all want power, and that's what it's about for them. Now, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm just asking the question, what purpose do they serve? Because I encourage you, list something out that the left has done that has benefited the American people as a whole. Not a particular color, not a particular group, not a particular sex. What have they done that have benefited the American people as a whole, regardless of your plexion? And you know, because they're always talking about the white male, especially the white Christian male, they're the problem. Stop doing that and start working for the American people. But see, they can't do that. Because see, the left, I know one purpose that they have is that they don't want us to be united. They hate the United States of America. Again, like I said, maybe their purpose is just to destroy America. Maybe that's the balance between good and evil, because they represent everything that is evil. And again, I'm not saying that, you know, all of the people on the right are peachy, because no one is innocent. No one is without sin. Not a single person. But come on, people, seriously, for real. The Republicans, they at least, when they try to do something, they do it and they say, for the American people. They constantly say that. And the left, they'll use that against the Republicans, trying to say that the Republicans are not doing anything for black people. When in actuality, they are. They're doing it for the American people. And if you just happen to be black and you're American, then guess what? You get to reap the benefits. That's what President Trump was doing. That's what President Trump was conveying. But they don't like it. They want to separate it. And then when it comes to abortion, right? Like I've said, and multiple other people have made this point. Let's say we can say yes to abortion when it comes to rape and incest. Let's say we all agree to say yes to that. Can we say no to the rest? Can we say no to that? See, the Democrats don't want to do that. For them, there's no negotiation. It's just be able to take the life of a child no matter what. No matter what the circumstance is, no matter what. And you remember the 10-year-old little girl that they were talking about? So now they have a suspect. You remember, because when Biden was talking about it, I said, I'm subject not to believe anything that he's saying. But now they have one. And come to find out, you know the reason why they didn't even talk about who the guy was? Or even why the story was even reported? Because he was illegal. For some reason, they want to leave that information out, because that just goes right against everything that they're trying to push. Just bring part of the story out, leave this part of the story in, but don't bring, just pull the rest of it out, because then they can use this against us. These people are demonic. Tell the whole story. Tell the whole story. And that's not the first time. There was a case where a guy crossed the border, was raping this little girl day in and day out, and ended up killing her once he got into America, living in California. But the liberal media and all of them, they suppressed that information. They hid it. And you know what's more disturbing than anything? That they're not, that they look the other way about who's actually doing the raping of these little kids. They look the other way. Like, no, we don't want to talk about that. We just want to talk about the girl wanting to get an abortion. It's like they don't care about the rape that's happening. And for the left, they say there's no negotiation. You don't believe me? Listen to Nancy Grossly Pelosi, drunk Nana. Listen to what she says, because she said there's no negotiation. You either kill them, there's only killing them. That's it. Well, we negotiate life. How about that? How about we negotiate that the child has an opportunity, the right to life, for white lives, for black lives, for yellow lives, for brown lives, for babies' lives. How about that? Can we go with that? Yeah. You know, I mean, I've actually met one of Nancy Pelosi's daughter. I've actually met one of Nancy Pelosi's daughters. I was on the southern border, myself and Ben Bergquam, and she was actually doing a documentary, an HBO documentary. And we're on the southern border with her. And she's telling us stuff about Nancy Pelosi. She doesn't really care for the ideas and stuff, the politics of her mother. She really doesn't. You know, and she was asking, let's not say anything really about it. I really don't want to talk too much about it. But when we found out that she was Nancy Pelosi's daughter, we were like, what? What? Are you serious? So, yeah, she actually is pretty cool. She's actually pretty cool. Looked like a total liberal, but she was actually pretty cool. We got along. We spent the whole day with her, right? Because she was doing a documentary, working for HBO. And surprisingly, she didn't spin the story to try to look a certain way, which is surprising. I'm like, you're from Pelosi? But anyways, y'all seen some of these school board meetings, right? Where the parents show up to the school board meeting and then they try to bring attention to some of the school books that they have on the bookshelves for these students to read when they're completely inappropriate. Y'all seen those videos? Well, here's a video with a father showing up, and he's trying to give examples of some of these books that they have on the bookshelves. Instead of the school board saying, you know what, it is a real major problem having these pornographic books on the bookshelf, they're upset that he's bringing it to their attention. Does that make sense? See, this is the world we live in. They're more upset the fact that he's bringing attention that these pornographic books are on the bookshelf for children than they are that books actually being on the shelf. Listen to this. Oh, sorry. For some reason, my audio for that's not coming through, is it? Why is my audio not coming through? I do apologize for that. Hold on, let me check. So did y'all not hear the other one either? My producer's not watching it. No one's telling me anything. Let me look. I mean, like I'm just ripping it up here. No sound. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Here, hold on. No one's. Okay, thank you. I'm not sure why my audio for that's not coming through. See, now y'all gonna make me share it again. How many did I share? Man, I'm like going all through it. Oh, y'all gotta hear the Matt Gaetz. Wow. Okay, hold on. Let me get back. Let me get this back here because y'all gotta hear what Matt Gaetz say. Okay, hold on. Okay. Now I got it. Okay. Man, I'm so sorry. Y'all can hear me though, right? Y'all can hear me? Okay, y'all can hear me? I'm gonna have to tell y'all this again. I had no idea. I do apologize. I just noticed that. But now I got the audio working on this one. Listen to it, Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz just rip it up. I do apologize. But listen to this. Matt Gaetz rip it up. Okay, listen.
Ms. Bass, you didn't use the words that were confusing, so I'm not going to yield to you.
And it is my bill.
But you didn't use the words in description of it.
And guess why?
It was Ms. Ross who used those words.
Ooh,
and if I want to ask questions of Ms. Ross, she could choose whether or not to yield to give the answers. But you covering for her,
not really interested
she doesn't know the words she uses, and cannot in the Judiciary Committee sit and answer the questions on something as important as life or death when I control the time is outrageous.
Are you done?
I'm done when my time's done. And when
Mr.
I'm done,
Gaetz,
you can yield for those questions, but it's crazy that in this committee, when I'm trying to get honest answers to questions about the effect of the bill, whether or not it paves the way to abortions, that you all want to sit up there and squawk at me rather than allow me to ask questions. When you have the time, you can control the time. How about that? But these are fair questions. She used the phrase unborn child.
I
would like to know what that means to her, because what it means to us
on a break.
is that
You hear that? You hear this? And see, this is what I was saying earlier. Unborn child. And I do apologize. I couldn't hear this earlier. This is such a powerful interaction. Matt Gaetz, like I mentioned earlier, Republicans finally getting the. Well, I'm not talking about Matt Gaetz, but Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene. More Republicans need to follow suit. Right? Because this is a prime example on how Republicans need to stand up against these Democrats. An unborn child. What is that? Right? Answer that question. What is an unborn child? See, the left, they don't want to recognize children in the womb. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. But this interaction with Matt Gaetz here, he just rips him up. He doesn't back down. And I love it.
It is a life. You know what? I want the answer on the record, Ms. Bass. I want the answer for the American people, because to all of us, my party that was impugned, we actually think that unborn life is a child and that there is a liberty interest there that is worthy of our defense and our protection and the values that undergird the American Constitution. I don't think that's too unreasonable. And by the way, if you use a phrase in this committee, you shouldn't have to have a senior member answer the questions for you. You should be able to answer those questions yourself. And if not, I think it speaks to the credibility of the debate that is offered.
Absolutely. If someone is there to answer questions, the Democrats, what they constantly do, they'll interrupt to try to deflect from the question being answered. And the reason why they're doing that because they don't want people to hear this. What is give me the definition of an unborn child? Right? What is that? They don't want to acknowledge it. But Matt Gaetz, I got a little bit more of this. Matt Gaetz absolutely lays it down, and I love it. Listen.
So I'll yield, Ms. Bass. I got 50 seconds.
Thank you. I would like for us to vote on the amendment. I think the bill is clear. The rest of this discussion is theater. I would like to vote on the amendment.
Well,
Can we vote on the amendment, Mr. Chair?
I tell you what, Ms. Bass, reclaiming my time. We'll vote when we're damn well ready and when we're done answering our questions.
Oh, you chair the committee now?
No, we have rights in the minority to utilize time under the 5-minute rule to be able to offer our perspective on matters. And we're sorry if you all are in such a rush to kill unborn life that you're unwilling to answer our questions. But you know what? The good news is, with the Supreme Court we currently have, this is now a pro-life country, and we've got all the time in the world for that.
All the time in the world. And yes, we're a pro-life country. Yes. The Democrats can't stand it. Let me put my little man up on the screen there. Y'all see my little man down there? Look at him. Y'all see him? You're getting jiggy with it. My little man right there. Look at it. See, yes, we are a pro-life country. Democrats hate to see a child growing. They hate to see a child come out. They hate to see it. Democrats hate to see it. Did I say Republicans? Democrats. They hate to see a child come out. They do. And then the Democrats go, well, you care about the baby in the womb, but you don't care about it when they come out. That's a total lie, too. The Republicans want them to have a fighting chance. Absolutely. Okay, so let me go to the one with Nancy Pelosi, where she's talking about this no negotiation. Talking about birth control. There's no negotiation. We negotiate on how much birth control they can have, how much they can't have. No, they just want to be able to kill the child in the story.
So, no, it's not for negotiation. What are you going to negotiate? What are you going to negotiate? Whether a woman can have contraception? Is that a cause for negotiation? Whether people can have birth control? Yes or no? a little bit here, a little bit there. No, look, you're in my wheelhouse now because I have 5 children in 6 years and 1 week. God blessed us with that. And Republicans sometimes have said on the floor, Nancy Pelosi thinks she knows more about having babies than the Pope. Yes, I do. And I think any Pope would agree.
The Pope. Really? Who cares? Who cares? If she knows that, I would love for someone to ask Nancy Pelosi after her making that statement. Do you know? I would love for someone to ask the question: Can a man have a baby? Can a man get pregnant? I would love for someone to ask her that question. Right? I would love for her to ask that question because she's talking about the Pope. Right? Talking about the Pope. And pregnancy. I'm just kind of taking myself back that Republicans say that Nancy Pelosi acting like she knows more about pregnancy than the Pope is a man. Of course, she's a woman. That's like a stupid thing. I don't think any Republican has ever said that. I think she's just making it up. Seriously. Unless for Catholics themselves, because a lot of people that are Catholic, they believe that the Pope has more connection and more access to God than they do. I'm just putting it out there. I have family members that are Catholic, and they've explained that to me, which I don't understand. That's why they say they go to mass or they go to a confession because they confess their sins to the Pope or to a priest. So then that God would hear them. I don't understand that because I know I've had conversations with God and I didn't have to go to anybody else. But that's a whole different story. Let me play this other. Let me get to this other one now, where this father was talking about a book that's on the bookshelves in school. And the school board, they're not upset about the books being on the bookshelves in schools. They're upset with the father actually bringing it up. The dad bringing it up. They're more upset about the dad bringing it up. Listen to this.
Tonight I'm going to give a sampling from 3 books that are in our libraries, the Fleming School and the Oakleaf School. And then you can discuss the process by which these books get on the shelves, because there's a Clay County employee that got paid to put this book, Lucky, by Alice Sebold. I'm going to read things. If there's children watching, cover their ears. He began to need
I'm going to stop you right there, sir. I'm going to stop you right there.
Turn the microphone off.
Turn off his microphone, please. I've told you I'm stopping you. The reason I'm stopping you is because these meetings are, if you'll hush your mouth for a minute and listen instead of just talking, you may learn something. Well, the problem is, sir, is these meetings are broadcast. There are people at home that are watching it on YouTube. There are people that are watching it on community television. Are you going to listen or are you going to run your mouth? And you'll get it back. But you'll get it back to talk about something besides reading pornography into a public television set. Well, let me explain something to you. There are federal and state laws that prohibit you from saying the things that you're getting ready to say on television. There are state laws that prohibit, and federal communications laws that prohibit you from publishing these things to a child. You don't have the ability at this point to determine who's watching the television show, and for you to say, everybody cover your ears, just doesn't cut it. If you go to television and you look before anything that comes on that's offensive, they have it graded as R, NC-17, PG, or G, or X. Now, if you put something on the television without that, you are violating state and federal law. Number one. Number two, if you'll hush a minute and listen, you'll learn something. Okay? There are ways for you to have this removed from the library.
I mean, they should automatically be looking at the issue, right? That should be the problem. They should be looking at why is this book even on the shelf in the place? They should say, you know what? Thank you for bringing this to our attention that the book is on the shelf. We will do what we need to do to make sure this pornographic information is no longer getting pushed to kids. And again, this is because they're trying to sexualize children. That's their whole goal. The left, they want to sexualize children. They're trying to do everything they can to sexualize children, and you know that's what they're trying to do. You know that's what they're trying to do. These school board members, and it's not just a few, it's happening all across the nation. And it's like the liberals have found their way into to target children. And that's what they've been doing, and that's what's happening here. That's what they're trying to do. All right, let me go to this next one here. Now, this next one, so y'all remember the Durham report when Durham had the information and had the guy that lied to the FBI? Yes, he lied to the FBI, and they said, yeah, here's evidence. Here's pure evidence that he lied to the FBI, right? And guess what happened? They let him go because they said, oh, there's not really nothing here. There's not enough here. There's not really anything here, right? That's what would happen. So now there's another Durham report getting ready to be released, to my understanding, and they have 30 subpoenas. But you know what the problem is, and the main reason why no one is really talking about it, because it's probably going to end up being the same thing happening. They're going to go through it. They're going to talk about it. It's going to be almost like a show. And then the Democrats will find some kind of way to get this to just go away because they're so corrupt. Listen to this report from Fox News talking about this Durham report.
30 subpoenas relating to a Russian national's connections with the Steele dossier. Igor Danchenko is accused of lying to the FBI. Our correspondent Jillian Turner has more on that case tonight. Jillian, what you find out? Good evening.
Good evening to you, Bill. So special counsel John Durham's probe into the origins of the Russian investigation is heating up again. Today, he asked a federal court to subpoena witnesses to testify in the trial against a Russian lawyer who allegedly served as British ex-spy Christopher Steele's primary source in that infamous Steele dossier. Well, Durham's filing requests the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia issue 30 subpoenas for witness appearances in Alexandria, Virginia. That's beginning October 11th. These witnesses aren't named, but they are commanded to appear. Danchenko's trial is slated to begin in October, and he's charged with 5 counts of making false statements to the FBI about information he provided to Steele in 2017.
And I think the Danchenko prosecution is going to further amplify these themes and the role that the FBI leadership played in this, which is increasingly looking fishy and inexplicable.
Danchenko has pleaded not guilty, and his trial will be Durham's first big chance to redeem his investigation and potentially prosecute suspects allegedly involved in Russiagate. This since a jury acquitted Democratic operative Michael Sussman of making a false statement to the FBI back in May.
I told the truth to the FBI, and the jury clearly recognized that with their unanimous verdict today. Despite being falsely accused, I'm relieved that justice ultimately prevailed in my case.
Now, sources tell us they expect these subpoenaed witnesses are going to be questioned about Danchenko's accusations concerning former Trump advisor Paul Manafort.
But you know what? Again, be honest with you, if you ask me, I don't think anything's going to come of it. I mean, good for Durham if he's going to continue to try. Again, they had actual evidence of them lying to the FBI, and nothing happens to them. Nothing at all. All right, so I want to play something else that is really interesting. Okay, so now I had to take out some of the key words on here. The intelligent people will know what's being said here. But I had to take out some of the key words simply because I don't want them, the tech companies, come and say, oh, my goodness, you're being, sexist or, causing violence or whatever. So apparently AOC was in DC, and she's walking up, and someone decided to use free speech with her. Basically, like, being a male chauvinist, if you will, but it's still free speech. You don't have to see, that's the whole thing. When people say something you don't like, it's still considered free speech. People say stuff to me all the time that's really right down nasty. I mean, completely nasty. But you know what? It's free speech. Now, calling for a harm against somebody, that's completely different. You're threatening someone's life, right? That's completely different. But if you talk about, my hair, you talk about my skin complexion, you talk about, anything that you see my person or whatever, that's free speech. You can talk as bad about me as you want to. That's the way it works. AOC, she was upset, so I had to share this. Now, I had to take some of the keywords out of here just because, obvious reasons, okay? But listen to this. She's so upset, and she wanted the Capitol Police to actually arrest the guy for saying something to her. You can't arrest somebody for free speech.
Hey everybody, I'm here in the Capitol. See this guy right there? Right there.
So they're gonna make. Apparently, she just made this. She's gonna make this guy famous. Let me see, right there, and he ended up waving at her, but the guy right there in the pink shirt, right there. So everyone's gonna want to know, who is he? Who is he? Let's find out who he is. Let's find out his name. Let's ask him. Well, did you really say that? And the main reason why the left want to find out who he is, not because of his free speech, but they want to find out who he is to see how they can get him fired, to see how they can hurt him, because they hurt AOC's feelings, hurt her whoa feelings.
Right there. Right there. When I was walking up, he said, hey, right in front of a Capitol Police officer, hey, here's this, look at that big, juicy, this Latina, like whatever, all the bunch of racist, sexist stuff. And since...
Racist, sexist stuff. So what's racist about it? I mean, I'm just asking, what's racist about it? Now, is it appropriate to call a female, say that towards a female? Absolutely not. I'm not condoning it at all. But is it free speech? Yeah, it's free speech. Do you have to like it? No. But it's not racist. Now, did she say anything about Jill Biden with the tacos? That is racist. And she claims to be Latino. I guess she's Latino. I don't know what she is. But she's claiming to be Latino. Did she say anything about Jill Biden taco episode? Did she say anything about that? But she's quick to come out and talk about this, right? Oh, he talked about my backside. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Sally, look at her butt. It's all big. Baby got back. Baby got back. Hey, I'm just saying, it's not appropriate to address women. I don't care if you like them or not. It's not appropriate to address women in that way. But again, at the end of the day, it is free speech. I don't have to like it. I'm just saying, it's not appropriate. Free speech, a lot of times, is not appropriate. That's why it's called free speech.
Nobody can do anything. I'm just telling you because this institution is not designed to protect people. And it's really hard and it's really sad that my only recourse is to just let you know about it, but that's the institution we're in.
That's the institution we're in. I mean, really? If they really cared about trying to protect people, they would try to protect the people in the womb. But they don't want to do that. Oh, that's a completely different story. We don't want to do that. Oh, no. Because then all of a sudden they talk about women's rights. That's when it comes about women's rights. Other than that, they don't want to talk about it. They don't care. They really, truly don't. They don't care. Let me share something else with you here. Have y'all been to the gas pump lately? Have you been to the gas pump? Did y'all go to the gas pump today or yesterday? What's the gas pump going to look like next week? Because the inflation is now at 9.1%. And to my understanding, when Biden went into the White House, inflation was what, 1.4%? 1.4%. That was the inflation. It is now 9.1%. And it looked like it's going through the roof still. It's still on the rise. People should be concerned. And I told people, and there's things you can do. You need to prepare. I don't care how you do it. You need to prepare for your family. I do have stuff on my website, but you know what? You don't have to go to my website. Do it yourself. Find it. Research. Start doing it. Buy a couple canned goods. Store them up. It's about to get bad, apparently. The interesting thing is that they're calling the oil companies in the United States of America the cartel, talking about the same oil companies in America that made it to where we were energy independent under President Trump. The Democrats don't want us to be independent. It's the same thing. You know what? It's the same thing the way the Democrats have been doing black people all along. They don't want black people to be independent. They really don't. They want black people to depend on the government, to depend on Democrats. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. That's why you have white liberals acting like black people don't know that their lives matter. I mean, so they put signs out. Hey, your life matters. Black lives matter. I'm white, but I'm telling you because you're not smart enough to recognize that your life matters. That's the reason why they're doing it. But for them to actually come out and sit there and say that the oil companies are the drug cartel, or not the drug cartel, just the cartel, is asinine. Listen to this from this chairwoman as she's talking about calling the oil companies here the cartel.
We cannot afford the status quo in which a global fossil fuel cartel controls prices and jeopardizes national and economic security.
You called Americans cartels when the President of the United States is going over to Saudi Arabia to beg our adversaries to produce more energy. Places that do not do it as cleanly as we do it here in the United States. That's a fact. That's proven, okay? And he's going over there because of the policies of the left and this administration that have put the American people at a disadvantage. And American families are struggling. People can't afford to get back and forth to work. They're going to have trouble heating their homes, all because we are no longer energy independent.
No longer energy independent. All this could have been avoided. Every last bit of it could have been avoided, but they didn't want to avoid it. You know, you remember the Democrats, the Democrats, they tried to pass the whole green stinking New Deal. You remember that? They tried to pass that. Well, it didn't pass. They could not get it through. It fell flat on its face. But they don't care. They were like, okay, you know what? We'll find a workaround. We'll do it a different way. We'll force people, we'll force the gas issues to happen. And then guess what? You want to get an electric vehicle. And a lot of people are like, I got to go get me an electric vehicle. I got to get an electric vehicle. The gas prices are going up. And most people can't afford an electric vehicle. So I have to go to the gas station. And every time I go to the gas station, it's like painful. I'm like, my goodness. This is terrible. It's painful. Every time. And there's some people, I'm blessed to where I don't have to go every single day and fill up. I can let the vehicle sit. But there's people that have to drive every single day and they're like looking, well, do I get food today or do I get gas? And now the Democrats, remember, let me remind you, the Democrats constantly were saying that it was Russia. They kept saying it was Russia, Russia, Russia. Y'all remember that? They kept saying it was Russia's fault that the reason why the gas prices were going up. And even people were getting these stickers and they were getting the stickers and they're putting at the gas pump and it was Joe Biden putting the gas pump saying, I did that. You remember those stickers? Y'all seen those stickers. I'm pretty sure you've seen them, the memes and stuff like that. So I made a meme one time and put it on Facebook and this company out of France said that it was false information. And they fact checked me because Facebook allowed it to happen. And they penalized my Facebook page because of it. And I'm like, what in the world is France, a news group out of France, have to do with Will Johnson? I mean, it's really bizarre. I'm like, am I reaching people like that? Am I? Seriously. Because I love people. God created all of us. And it's this leftist entity on the planet that want to divide us. Seriously. So, McCarthy. Now, McCarthy, he's kind of one of them. You know, he's the whole reason right now why Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them can tell Republicans what committees they can and can't be on. McCarthy doesn't get to make that decision. Nancy Pelosi's making it for him. And he's allowing it to happen. Right? because Marjorie Taylor Greene should have been on some of them. But because of Nancy Pelosi, she made sure Marjorie Taylor Greene couldn't go in there, and Mark McCarthy allowed it to happen. But McCarthy trying to show face, right? Just like Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, they try to show face. They try to act like they're for the American people every now and then, and they hope that people forget exactly what they've done. But I just brought up one of the things McCarthy did. I don't care. He's probably never talked to me anyways. That's why, and that's probably part of the reason why the Republicans in California don't want to have anything to do with me, because I'm calling them out for not doing a daggum job. I mean, really? They're the career politicians. Do your job. But they don't want to because they're career politicians. They're part of the establishment. Listen to this interaction here where the GOP decided to sit down with some of these energy companies here in the United States of America and talk about the issues. Listen to this.
Every time someone fills up with gasoline right now, they're being reminded of how the cost of living has increased. And the Republicans, we are anxious to unleash American energy. I'm proud to be here today with leading American energy producers, oil and natural gas, and we are the largest energy producing country in the world, and we need to unleash American energy. It's so important to every part of our lives. It's our standard of living, it's our way of life, it's our economic competitiveness, it's important to geopolitical aspect, our security and our standing in the world. And so energy and American leadership is so important. And yes, we have worked on numerous bills, and it's been unfortunate to see the Biden administration and the majority in the House, led by Speaker Pelosi, say no. They are shutting down American energy producers, and I know we'll hear more about that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They wanted to shut down the offshore drilling. They want to shut down the drilling. Not that they want to, they have. Just like on the federal lands. They've shut it down. And look, we, the American people, are getting the brunt of this. We're getting penalized for their mistakes. And then they want everybody again to sit there and think that it's the first it was Russia, and then it was the small business owners that own these gas stations, just gas stations throughout. They said it was the gas stations problem and that they should bring the gas price down, which they can't do that. They really, to my understanding, they have no control over that. They make more from you going inside buying a candy bar than they do at the gas pump. So if they bring the prices down, they're basically paying for everybody's gas because that money still has to go out. They don't want to acknowledge it. So here's another one. Listen to this one because this is really powerful. The Democrats, the left, they're literally trying to destroy America with this liberal world order. And all of this is due to the liberal world order, 100%.
What's really sort of shocking to me is that the Democrats want to blame everyone else for the increases. It's been Putin's price hike, it's been the oil and gas companies' price gouging. They never want to take responsibility for the actions that they've put forward. And I think that the American people know better. They see what's happening at the pump every day and at the grocery store every day, and they're angry and they're frustrated, and they should be, because states like mine, as well as others here at the table, have the ability to make this country American energy independent once again. But we are being hamstrung by the policies of Biden and the administration.
They're tying their hands. They're literally tying their hands. And it's really not this difficult. It really isn't. It can't be fixed because President Trump proved that. When President Trump was in office, no one was complaining about the gas pump. Seriously. Not like we're complaining about it today. I think when under President Trump, gas was like $2.45 at one point. Seriously, sometimes even lower than that. That doesn't seem, it's, to me, it's still high for me, but it's tolerable. What they're doing here is not tolerable. This is them crippling our economy. This is them cutting down the American people. And people, I'm sitting there talking about this today. Next week, the following week, it's going to be worse. None of this is getting easier. None of this is getting lighter. None of it. Listen to this one with Scalise, and he's so spot on. Listen to what he talks about. Joe Brandon decided to fly overseas, and he's flying overseas basically to go on his hands and knees and grovel to the Saudis. Please give us oil.
Again, Joe Biden's flying 5,700 miles on Air Force One, which no solar panels on the wings. It's all jet fuel to Saudi Arabia. Port Fourchon in my district is where deepwater drilling in the Gulf of Mexico emanates from. And they could produce all of the needs for America that are being unmet right there. I know some of my other colleagues from other states that produce energy, whether it's Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. We've got the ability to produce our energy. We ought to be doing it here, not going to foreign dictators.
Yeah, we shouldn't be going to foreign dictators. But yet we're going to foreign dictators to try to get oil. Again, it's almost like like I mentioned it earlier, like they want black people to depend on the Democrats. You know, I mean, they do. They want, especially the white liberal, make that known. Like, black people, you can't do it for yourself. So we're here to help you. We're here to do it for you because you can't do it. Right? I mean, that's how they treat black people. And for the most part, they want everybody to depend on the government. That's the reason why they do what they do. They want us to depend on the government. Well, I don't want to depend on the government. I want to work for what I have. I do. I want to work for it. Sometimes I don't feel like working. Just to be honest with you, I'd be lying and say, oh, I want to work every day. Some days I want to chill. Some days I don't want to do anything. Some days I just need to unplug. Everybody has to at some point, because you need some downtime just to let your mind rest. Let your soul just get back, just let it chill for a minute. Doesn't mean I'm going to give up on this fight. But there's times that we all have to just relax, right? But the Democrats, they don't want you to have to work for anything. They want you to just be, they'll tell you how much you can have. And what they really want to do is go to the social score, right? They want to go to the social score and get all of us to depend on them. And then based on your social score, you can determine how much or what you can have. For example, like in the state of New York right now, I don't know if it actually passed. I hadn't looked it up again, but I saw it last week where they were saying that if you want to have a concealed firearm in the state of New York, that they're trying to make it to where you have to give them access to your social media account. So they can go in there and see everything that you said without any restrictions. They want to be able to see it. They want full access to it in order for you to have a firearm. No. The answer is no. That's not part of the Constitution. There's no prerequisites like that in the U.S. Constitution. There's none there. But they're trying to find some kind of way to prevent people. And the only people that they'll say should not be able to own a firearm, if you're Christian, if you love America, if you support Trump. Those three things right there. You shouldn't, because they say, oh, that's part of mental illness when they're the ones with mental illness. And talking about mental illness, this dude turns and he puts his hand out there. Now, I don't know. The fake fact checkers, they'll jump in there and say, he wasn't trying to shake a ghost hand. There's no ghost there. There's nobody. He didn't do that. But you can clearly see what Joe Brandon is trying to do when he turns. See, you see him? He's looking to his right now, right? But watch this. I mean, who's he reaching out to? I mean, he's actually reaching his hand out, and then I'm gonna take it back and play it again, because then he realizes there's nobody there, and his hand, the demeanor of his hand changes. Watch. And then he goes, "Oh, okay, right here." And then they have to direct him to go where to go sit. And then they make the excuse, "Oh, Joe's just old. He's just old." That's the problem. Maybe if you cannot, there has to be some kind of test that you have to be able to pass to show that you're competent enough to be in that position. There should be something there to show that you're competent to be in that position. Now, you remember I told y'all in the beginning when I was having audio issues. Hopefully you heard me, but for those of you that didn't hear me, I told you in the beginning how that when Joe Brandon came out and talked about the 10-year-old girl, and everyone was questioning it. Well, what is he talking about? What's his story? Even the attorney general in the state didn't know what he was talking about because there wasn't any reports. Now, conveniently, the reports, they get some reports, right? Conveniently, like, okay, now we found what we want to, make it look like. And then they purposely, and I think they purposely did this, because they knew of the story. And the only reason why they didn't talk about all of the story, because who actually raped the little girl? It was an illegal. See, they didn't want that information to come out. But hey, it had to come out at some point. It had to come out. They tried to suppress that information, and they tried to say, well, the little girl had to go across state lines to get an abortion. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's terrible, 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 terrible. Well, guess what? She was raped by an illegal alien that should have never been here in the first place. And the Democrats try to suppress that information. And now they're going like, oh, look, y'all all was saying it was a lie. You were saying it was a lie, that she didn't get raped and it wasn't a little girl. The real question is why did they hide the fact that it was an illegal alien? Listen to this interaction here. Now, I'm not even sure when this took place, but President Trump, this is when he was candidate President Trump. So it had to be like maybe early 2016, 2015. But listen to what President Trump, because he actually goes on CNN with sourpuss Don Lemon with audio. Listen to what President Trump says, because you can, and look at the expression on Don Lemon's face when President Trump expresses what happens, but Don Lemon doesn't care about who's doing the raping. Dude, it's the exact same thing in this scenario. It's the exact same thing. Listen to this. Listen carefully.
I say the illegal immigrants. You look at the statistics on rape, on crime, on everything coming in illegally into this country. They're mind-boggling. If you go to Fusion, you will see a story about 80% of the women coming in. I mean, you have to take a look at these stories. And you know who owns Fusion? Univision. And it was in the Huffington Post. I said, let me get some of these articles because I've heard some horrible things. I deal a lot of talking with people on the Border Patrols.
Yeah.
They're incredible people.
I want to get some.
Our country.
I want to get some.
And
I want to get some clarification.
No, but Don, all you have to do is go to Fusion and pick up the stories on rape.
Yeah. Now listen to Don Sourpuss Lemon. And, the whole thing is that they just want to be able to have more abortions, and they're trying to say that. Think about this. They're literally saying that, oh my goodness, this little girl was raped and they don't want her to be able to have the access to have an abortion. Well, let me ask this question. Is every woman in America that's getting pregnant due to rape, is every single woman that's going to have abortion, is that due to rape? What are the numbers? We know the numbers are less than 1%, or maybe it's 1.5%, but it's so low. It's so low. But they're acting like every single pregnancy should be aborted because of rape. That's how they're acting, and that's how they're pushing it, knowing good and well it's not true. Now listen to Don Sourpuss Lemon, and this was before 2016, because Listen. Now listen and look at Don Sourpuss Lemon, and President Trump actually calls him out on it.
And it's unbelievable when you look at what's going on. So all I'm doing is telling the truth.
I read the Washington Post, I read the Fusion, I read the Huffington Post, and that's about women being raped. It's not about criminals coming across the border or entering the country.
Well, somebody's doing the raping, Don.
Yes, you hear that? See, President Trump right there. Someone is doing the raping, Don. Someone is doing it. Someone is causing the rapes, right? Someone is doing it, and he wants to ignore that part. It's like, just like I mentioned earlier, the little girl in California, the guy was trafficking the little girl across the border and saying, oh, this is my daughter, it's my daughter, it's my daughter, it's my daughter. End up not being his daughter. He was raping the little girl constantly through and through, got into California. A couple months later, they found the little girl dead because he raped her and killed her. But that's not their concern. Because you know why? Because demons don't care about that. They don't care about who's doing the raping. They want to use the raping to their advantage. Like I constantly say, the left, they either create these crises, they create these issues, or if they don't create the crisis, they take advantage of it for their own sinister means. Listen to this, because President Trump, he really calls him out on it. And Don South puts Lemon act like, oh, what? Look.
It's about women being raped. It's not about criminals coming across the border or entering the country.
Well, somebody's doing the raping, Don. I mean, you know, somebody's doing the, you're saying it's women being raped. Well, who's doing the raping?
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing the raping?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you say such a thing?
How can you say such a thing? And this video just surfaced, and I'm like, what am I looking at here? What am I looking at here? Oh, look at this. I'm like, what? This, okay. Because see, on there, it said candidate. This was in either 2015 or 2016 when it was all going down. And he went on there, and you know, CNN, but like, oh my goodness, you can't bring President Trump on here because he's saying stuff that makes sense, and it's gonna ruin everything. They had a whole campaign to try to ruin that man, and they're still trying to do it. And he's just a man. Can y'all imagine? They got what they want, and they're still going after him. And we all know why they're going after him, because they're scared of what's going to happen in 2024. They're terrified of it. They don't know how to react to, oh my goodness, there's a possibility that he can come back. We've got to do everything we can to stop him. They tried, I mean, this is unheard of. Never, you know what? If there's been a case like this where they impeach president twice in the House, and then after he's no longer in office, that they're going after him again, please, where is that in the history books of America? Where? They're literally terrified of this man, because look what he's done. And speaking about how they're terrified of him, you know, they're so terrified of Trump, they're literally trying to lie and say that Republicans no longer support Trump. Yes, they're saying this. Let me remind you of something too. The past few elections where President Trump has been endorsing people, what I think is like all but maybe 2 or 3 maybe that didn't win. But everybody else that President Trump went in there and say, hey, I'm supporting this person, they've been winning back to back to back to back. And it's terrifying the left. So, of course, they got to come out and lie and literally say that the Republicans don't want President Trump. And these are Republicans like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. They're the only ones saying this. But listen to this interaction, because they're literally trying to say that people don't want Trump when they do. Listen.
Major sources close to Donald Trump tell us that the former president is eyeing an early entry to the 2024 race, and that he's considering announcing this bid as early as the fall or the summer. Why, as you ask? In a nutshell, because recent polls show signs of weakened support among some of the Republican faithful for the former president. And potential rivals like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis are moving up in the polls. You saw the New York Times Siena poll, and they're getting more headlines. DeSantis is the only Republican, by the way, who's netting double digits for Trump. But Trump still is well ahead of the rest of the GOP pack. But Trump is, I've been told, also furious at the January 6th committee coverage, and his early entry could help change the discussion on that.
And so I've talked to several Republicans who, whether or not they would align themselves or support former President Trump running for 2024's nomination, would prefer that conversation be held until after the midterm, so Republicans can focus on the Biden agenda, inflation, and the like. What are you hearing?
You know what? Let me stop it there. Everyone who is running for office on the Republican side, everyone who's gotten, like I mentioned, endorsement for President Trump, they've come out on top. By and large, they've been coming out on top. They want us to believe that's not happening. That's the opposite. This is them again, the left, thinking that the American people are stupid, like we don't see what's happening here. Like we're not paying attention. And it's constantly happening.
As you and I have both discussed before, some Republicans have been trying to persuade the president not to run because it could completely scramble and really impact the midterms. And
who's he talking about? Is he talking about Lindsey Graham, maybe Mitch McConnell, Adam Kinzinger, Lindsey Graham? I mean, who's he talking about? Because all the Republicans that are running right now, they're like, hey, please endorse me. Please endorse me. This, again, is a blatant lie from them. Okay, so if there's a Republican, a hardcore Republican that loves America, that's standing up, can y'all send me the link to that Republican? Because I want to see. And don't send me Liz Cheney, because come on. She's a straight up rhino.
And frankly, could help Democrats' chances in November by making it a referendum on Trump and not on issues that are driving voters like inflation, the economy, gas prices. Sources close to Trump tell me it could help drive GOP turnout. But one Republican strategist that I spoke to just a little while ago said Republican voters don't really need that. And this is, quote, all about Trump. The strategist also said it is a, quote, supremely selfish thing to do so far before 2024. But Trump is obviously considering it and continues to campaign for his endorsed candidates, including holding a rally this weekend in Arizona for a couple candidates that he's backed in the gubernatorial and senatorial races there in that battleground state. And Major, he's going to be returning to D.C. for the first time since he left office when he speaks at a policy summit by the America First Policy Institute on July 26 here. And those issues, and then he'll be speaking on issues like the economy, immigration, and other.
He's going to talk about everything that is affecting everybody. He's going to talk about how what he did when he was in office and how it benefited the American people. And you know what? This administration, they lie about everything. They try to say that the jobs are better than they ever were before, right? They're breaking records. Well, more black people, for the first time in the history of this nation, were working, had jobs under President Trump. Same thing with Latinos. Same thing. More women were starting businesses. And because of the Democrats and what they've done, all those businesses got shut down and didn't survive. So, and they say more women vote than men. So I'm going to put this out there. Women, beautiful women, remember what the Democrats did to you, because, they constantly saying that you need to get out and vote. You need to get out and vote. And they want you to vote Democrat. They want you to vote for your own demise. You understand what I'm telling you? The Democrats want you to vote for your own demise. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't know why you would. I wouldn't. All right, so my producer is MIA tonight, so let me just go in here and say it like this. Doug, thank you so much for becoming a member. And I see people in here telling me about the audio issues that I had in the beginning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I caught it, but I did catch it. And thank you so much. And thank you so much, Doug, for becoming a member. Let's see. Chaz, thank you so much. And Pato, thank you so much. And then Joe Brandon, thank you so much. And JDWC003, thank you so much. These are super chats. I'm gonna see if I can find a location for the stars. But JDWC003 says, I am a straight white Christian male with a beautiful wife and kid, and a kid, Will. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. And there's nothing wrong being the way you are. Do not allow those Democrats to tell you otherwise. That's how they were doing black people. They wanted the Democrats. It's been the Democrats. The Democrats wanted us to believe as black people that there was something wrong with us for being black. That's how they act. Right now the same group, the same side, the same entity, the same demonic spirit is saying the same thing about white people, specifically white males. You said you didn't know if my name was, I was cutting it off. Oh, you said you didn't know by my name if I was male or female. Now I do. Thank you so much. From the initials. Thank you so much. Just wanted to support you though, and thank you for the hard work. Thank you so much for the blessings. Thank you so much for the blessings, sir. Yeah, because every time my producer would put the JDWC, I don't want to misidentify you. I didn't know, but thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Let's see. Then we have look like Matt Gaetz clip went silent earlier of your video. Just FYI, yeah, I know. YouTube. No, it wasn't YouTube this time. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. But this time it was my fault. Something going on with my system. I'm going to fix it when I get off of here, so hopefully it doesn't ever happen in the future. Sean says, keep up in sharing the gospel and calling out the lies, my brother. Thank you so much for that blessing. Okay, let me see if I can find it's not showing it to me here. Let me go to a different way here. And I'm on Rumble too, and I glance over at Rumble to see if anyone did any Rumble rants, but no one hit me up with a Rumble rant. I'm so lame. It's so lonely over there. No, there's a lot of people on Rumble right now. Wow, look at this. Thank you for being on here on Rumble. While I'm doing the broadcast, I can't look at all the comments and everything because I'm trying to do the show and stuff. But thank you. If you are on Rumble, please consider supporting my channel because Rumble is the only channel that I have to pay to keep up, right? I have to pay to stay on Rumble. I'm paying to be on Rumble. So if you like my content being on Rumble, one day I just might only be on Rumble. I need your help, please. And for those of you that like to go to Rumble, to simply go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com and click on Connect with Will or Connect with Will. I mean, it's right there on my website, Connect with Will. And then select Rumble and follow my Rumble page. All right. So, yeah, Rumble does rock. But I need y'all support on Rumble. And I'm also live on Getter. It'd be nice if Getter allowed y'all to send me some, getters. I don't know. But other than that, if you're on Getter, please. Oh, and I've been meaning to say this too. If you're on Getter and you decide to support me and to help me out, and you go to like Cash App or Venmo or PayPal, I think you can put a comment on there and you can put say from Getter, so then that way I can say it because it'd be nice to know if you're supporting me and you're on Getter. It'd be nice to know. All right, let me see if I can go to the Facebook here and see if I can go to the location. I don't know if it's going to let me. I just wanted to say thank you. I actually had someone send me a message upset with me saying thank you to people for blessing me. I'm not sure why, but I mean, I know they try to equate it that I'm not going to get into it, but I just know that someone actually complained. It's not letting me. I don't know how. See, my producer, she normally handles all of this, and it's not letting me get there. I don't know why. Let me try one more thing here. Yeah, and nope. Dadgummit. All right, I'm going to have to figure that out. So in the future, I can just do that, just in case she's MIA. I'm really trying here. I really am. I'm really trying here. Let me see. See here, what about here? What about here? Nope. Why? What about here? Can we get to it here? Huh. This is interesting. I've never seen this before, but okay. It's not showing it to me. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can do it from my phone. I just want to say thank you. I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you because, people bless me and the times that we're living in. I can't. Okay, I got it right here. I can see it now. I can see him here. I got it. Okay, I can see it. Oh, here, hand it to me. Because it's yeah, so as soon as I touch it, it won't let me go to it there. Okay. Let me say thank you real quick. Okay. If it's okay for those of you just hanging around. Let's see. Michelle, Pam, Laurel, Cindy, Pamela, Tim, Eva, Kayla, Joseph, Cindy, Valerie, Lisa, Brenda, Jordan, Kathy, Laura, and Joyce and Susan. These were Facebook stars. These were Facebook stars. And I will go take a quick look one more time. And I'm looking at my Venmo. Let's see. There's look like Jennifer on Venmo. And Tracy on Venmo. And let me go to Cash App real quick. I'm sorry for those that don't like this. I want to say thank you to people that bless me. Lori, thank you so much. Lori's awesome. She's one of my mods. And Troy, thank you so much for the blessing. Thank you so much. And then I'll take one look here at PayPal, if I can. See, this one, my producer's so awesome. She makes sure I keep lined up and keep straight. All right, yep. I don't see anything on PayPal. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much again. Go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. If you like the shirt, Ultra Mega Republican, I have another one that is pretty awesome. The one that says Life Win with the cross on it is absolutely beautiful. My producer, she inspired me, and I did it. It was, it's something she inspired me to do. So I did another one. It's really awesome. UniteAmericaFirst.com. Go check it out. God bless everybody. See you on the flip side.